I fully understand the demand by the public for limited expenses on government as a whole, and the need to be moderate and ensure that we apply resources to the most critical areas. That is well understood. But I think that for many years, MPs have been unfairly criticized simply because they are given the same tools that other public service holders get to do their work. And something, there's a saying in Akan, if the frog had not fallen into warm or boiling water, it would not have realized the differences between the temperatures of water. In the past, I used to join those who used to harangue MPs. But since becoming one, I have noticed that MPs are perhaps the most unfairly treated in the whole governance architecture. You see, MPs, like everybody else, within the three arms of government, provide a public service. They serve people. When you are elected as an MP, everything you do is in furtherance of the interests of the people of Ghana or your constituents. Ministers, we all agree, should be given some facilities in order to be able to do their work. The same for the judiciary. They hardly come up for mention in terms of what it even costs to run the judicial service. But the moment it gets to MPs, a certain attack is launched on them. This is, let me tell you up front, and I know it because I've experienced it. There is nothing that the MP gets for his own tenure that will come anywhere close to what the MP spends on the people that he's serving. And maybe you may oblige me. One day, just spare me one of your cameras and your cameraman to follow me to the Abu Asebu Kwakye's constituency for between Friday and Sunday.
Where you are leaving to from here.
Exactly. And come back with the reports. Look, on any given morning, if I happen to be in the constituency, there will be between 200 to 300 people in my house. So I have an office where I sit and run what I call a clinic. So you can sit there for about 6 hours sometimes, listening to specific demands. And you see what happens is that because government is limited in terms of its reach to the people, that void, that chasm that is created, that breach has to be filled by the MP. So unlike other players in the governance architecture, the MP has to meet direct needs. Indeed, my colleague here lamented a few months ago about what it takes him to be able to go around the constituency every weekend. As I sit here, I'm not yet in AAK, but my constituency organizer, Amos, has sent me a tall list of funerals to which I have to donate. The last time I was in AAK, I counted 336 people came to me in the morning with varying degrees of demands. And these are not people who are there to swindle me. They have brought genuine concerns that if I do not address, government will never be able to address it. So they will be condemned to extreme suffering. So when you become an MP, what do you get? Our salaries are analogous to the salaries of ministers. In fact, because I happen to be a minister and an MP, I'm paid by parliament actually. So there's a small top-up that I get as a minister. That is it. And then you are given a car loan. And something, it is a loan, not a gift. In lieu of that, you would have to buy it and give it to me. When I leave it. But it is really the same thing. You know what? Even before you see the car, they start deducting the money. So the money started disappearing from my account since last year. So I've been paying for it even though I have not seen the car yet. And the deductions will continue till the end of the 4-year tenure. Sometimes there is a certain difference. And so you make up for it before you leave. Beyond that, nothing comes. And yet, I am supposed to take care of the thousands of constituents who depend on me in the Abu Asebu Kwakye constituency with no subsidy. There is talk about the MP share of the common fund. That is part of the DCAF that the assembly gets. I don't get to see the money. So the most I do is to issue a letter authorizing the DCE to spend this on that project for the people of AAK. The money never comes to me. You understand me? But the impression is created that somehow there are some pots sitting in parliament which MPs get resources from and therefore are much better off. Indeed, there are instances where former MPs come to parliament and they cannot even afford to buy medicines because everything they have, they spend on their constituents. Look, I was in a constituency one day. Everything I had was taken away from me. I had to call my wife to send me 500 cedis to buy fuel to come to Accra because I had been shaken dry, stripped of everything that I have. But you see, maybe MPs we've not helped ourselves because of the opacity behind which we have operated. We have not opened up enough People are even afraid to discuss what they earn for fear of public backlash. I can tell you for free, it is equivalent to what ministers earn. And that's it. Unlike ministers who have a duty post vehicle, who get all the accessories that I spoke to you about in the earlier segment, who have some allowance here or some allowance there due to travels or anything. The MP gets nothing. Again, when it comes to the vehicle, some say if it were just a case of leaving my residence in Accra and going to Parliament, before I became MP, I had a car, so I could manage. But you have to take long distance travel, and I take long distance travel. From here to AK, it's about 160 kilometers. I cannot do that on a bicycle or a motorbike.
I have colleagues who are MPs. I see them in the court when I'm also practicing in the courts as a private practitioner.
Yes.
So they have a job that gives them time to still keep their job. A question Suleimana Isifu is asking us is, Ghanaians wouldn't complain, it's actually a comment, Ghanaians wouldn't complain if MPs show work for the V8s they are giving. We expect more from them, especially holding the executive accountable. If they do that appropriately, it will alleviate the masses and no one will make demands to them as being complained of. They shouldn't take bribes for the work they do as contained in Manasseh's book.
You see,
okay.
So Kabiru is here. He is an opposition MP. This morning, he has shared his views on government. On any given day, he gets up in Parliament to critique government policy. When the NDC was in opposition, we used to do that. Indeed, there was those days when every day we brought some scandal. It was part of the oversight. When Honorable Blakwa blew the whistle on the cash for sea scandal, the Franklin Templeton thing, and all the other many things, the fight that the NDC MPs put up to ensure that e-levy didn't get passed, all of that was part of the scrutiny that they were carrying out. In addition to this, there are committee sittings. So when Parliament starts sitting, say midday, and you don't see the chamber full, a majority of MPs would be in committee sittings.
I know an MP who bought a nice Benz car with his allowances from the committee sittings.
It is allowance for work that you do. You understand? And something I can assure you that it's not possible. Maybe he didn't tell you the full truth. It's not possible. The allowance is so minimal. Again, they talk about work. So only last week I was in Neyeki, and I'm sure you followed my social media posts. I had to talk about 20 communities within those 2 days. I went to commission about 5 different projects. The previous time I was there, I had to look for 10,000 pieces of furniture to give to 5 secondary schools who didn't have it. So we've wiped out the deficit in furniture for those schools. I'll go again today. I'll do something. I'll go again the next week. I'll do something. And then added to that is the individual demands that people will come and make on it. So we need to be fair to the MP. The MP does not get anything that others in the governance architecture get far more. But before I end, let me insist here something. There's nothing that the MP in Ghana gets that comes anywhere close to what they spend personally doing their work on behalf of the people of Ghana.
So what's the incentive? That's the question.
But I beg you, before you go, I've asked myself that question. And indeed, only last week I was talking to an MPP person who is nursing the ambition. I discouraged him. I told her, look, it is a thankless job. It will drain you. You will not come out better than you went in. So sometimes,
and we have seen people like that who, after they were done, they are worse off.
Yes.
Like I was saying, I was watching this news, and your own good friend Gideon Boako had taken an entire market.
Yes, and was paving it.
You know, and has gone to seek support from NGOs and other places to want to develop an entire market for the people, because that's their basic, very important need.
Which government cannot meet, because government doesn't have all the resources at the same time.
Right. You know? So yes, it is true